Welcome to Game Soup. It's a game design podcast where we throw ideas in a pot and see what's cooking. I'm Chloe, and I'm joined as ever by Kayla.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm inexplicably high energy, so it'll probably fall off after the episode, but for now, I'm pretty good.
Nice. Have you been up to anything fun in your week?
Just work, really. Ordering stuff for conventions, so we will see everybody at UKGE.
Actually.
6 weeks away, baby.
UKGE is really close, but I'm actually going to be at somewhere else first. If next Saturday you're going to Dragon Meet Call to Adventure, the sequel to Dragon Meet in Westminster Town Hall, which is a free all-ages convention, I will be there.
Well, this is the first time I'm hearing of Dragon Meet 2, so...
Are you not subscribed to Dragon Meet's mailing list?
I thought I was, but...
I was going to say, are you? Because in my mind, I'm like, oh, you've probably never bought a Dragon Meet thing, so...
Yeah, I guess not. So our top tip for creators this week, subscribe to all of the convention newsletters.
So I'll be at Dragon Meet 2. I'll also be at UK Games Expo. I'm now confirmed for Tabletop Scotland, and I'll be at Norwich as well. And then eventually Dragon Meet 1 at the other end.
The original and probably bigger. Oh yeah, because it's at the XL Centre now or something?
Yeah, it'll be at the XL, where I can go for free, because there's free buses running. So my entire convention travel for Dragon Meet could be free.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're doing Dragon Meet this year, but stay tuned, I guess.
I'm going to throw it out to you there, Chloe. The spots are gone. So if you don't know that you are doing Dragon Meet, you're not doing it.
Well, that makes the decision for us.
Sorry.
Again, subscribe to newsletters. It probably helps.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're looking at... Well, we're definitely doing UKGE because we're sat slap bang next to some pillocks called Vatwave Games.
Not the name on the store.
Well, what, 12 Pins Press?
No, I was like, Ratwave Games is not the name of
Vatwave
the
Game
imprint.
House. What are you?
Yeah.
Press?
Yeah. No, it's Game House. Yeah.
We are looking at doing tags and Tabletop Scotland as well, so we'll figure it out.
Nice. We'll see people around, I'm sure.
Yeah, I hear lots of Americans are coming over for UKGE, so...
Yeah, that'll be interesting. You said you've been doing a lot of sorting. Does that mean you are feeling vibed and excited for UKGE, or are you in the I've been doing a lot of sorting nerves or whatever?
No, I'm...
Or are you just thriving?
I'm currently in the spot of having the energy for it, so I think I'm on the up of my wave of energy. The ebb and flow of it. Trying not to call it mania, but yeah, no, I'm excited. We got all our stuff ordered, stamps for Stamp Quest, which we're doing again this year. Got a nice little table runner that Alyssa designed. It's going to be fun. I don't know what our stock situation's like, but we had plenty at the last con, and I've not looked at it since, so I have to assume it's good.
Well, yeah, that's the interesting thing. Whereas there's some probably sort of final little bits I need to sort of stuff. I've actually emailed the con because I was something like, hey, when I applied for this stall, I wasn't using a wheelchair. Is it the right stall for this now consideration? But stock-wise, I am super sorted because I've ordered 2 new runs of the Infinite Dance Floor and the Ballad of the Bastard and the Tinkerer. So that's new in stock. I know I have good numbers for everything else because I've reopened my store and put up a sale. There's a chance I do some shorter runs on different zines beforehand. Say, it's a thing because I will be doing Call to Adventure first. Maybe enough stuff goes there that I'm like, oh no, I need to reprint out of the fold because I actually ran
Yeah.
out of it and it sold really well or whatever.
We can but hope.
You might see things like that, but in terms of, like, I don't need to reprint any big books. Like, I'm good for the amount of Psycho Dungeon and TDL2 I have that will... We'll see how... Yeah, we'll see if UK Games Expo likes Transgender Deathmatch Legend 2.
I just remembered we didn't have any copies of Mouse in the house at Dragonweight, so we need to order them too.
Oh, yeah.
So it's all go in Game Soup Towers. It's 2 towers, opposite sides of the country. Yeah, should we do
Makes
some...
them extra hard to fly a plane into.
And on that note, let's make some games, shall we? Let's just go to the random word generator, see what's in the pantry.
Yeah, what do you got?
I can give us 2 words if you like.
I've got one word that I think is fun, but we also could go for a threesome then.
Whoa. What's your word, honey?
Shorts.
Shorts. Mine is build.
Build shorts. Or shorts build. Oh yeah, maybe it's about a shorts build. Maybe this is a game about magic hot pants.
Explain the idea?
Actually, it's a game about enchanted booty shorts with, you know, like messages on the booty shorts. Like, you have a wardrobe, which is whatever booty shorts you want to do. Crop tops can also be in the mix, like crop tops and things. And, like, they're enchanted with it. So it's like swapping out your outfit for what I then assume is just kind of general hijinks. I feel like this is just then a lot of prompts, a resolution mechanic, and then, like, maybe even just a big random table of almost like session pictures, like, oh, let's use the enchanted booty shorts to for a get rich quick scheme versus, like, we're gonna enter a fighting tournament versus, like, we are going out clubbing. Like, that's what this game is.
And the only thing the booty shorts can do is change what they say on the ass, or...
No. You have a variety of booty shorts and what they say on the ass, and that's the enchantment. Like, if you've got, like, booty shorts that say, like, this is not a place of honor, it's like, oh yeah, cool, you can use that enchantment for, like, a radioactive cloud.
In this episode, the writers barely disguised fetish.
That's not what I'm doing.
I kind of see.
Do you have any ideas?
No, it's sort of a Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants thing, where it's like a sort of a sitcom where you got these magic pants, and it's like each week they do something, like each session they do something different, and it's like, how can we use the booty shorts this week to save the world, or to, like, have a good time or whatever?
Yeah, it's kind of sitcom-y.
Yeah.
Do you want to wrap that one and go to new words?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
I don't know, or we could, like, figure out what the mechanics are or stuff if you want, but I feel that's maybe a bit separate. I feel it's, like, quite a simple mechanical system, with its main appeal being silly writing.
Yeah. I think it has, like, a dice stacking thing, and it's like you build on silly scenarios on top of each other until it tumbles. And then you have to use the magic booty shorts to get out of it. Yeah, so our next word is hunting.
We've got surface, which I thought was going to be more interesting, but with hunting, I'm like, huh.
Surface.
I think you are shark hunters. Like, you're trying to hunt, like, animals that are surfacing. Actually, no, you're not the shark hunters. You are the sharks.
You're the sharks.
You have to hunt the, like, fucking hunters on the surface. You have to go to war with these hunters from the surface.
Yeah, it's like...
Or maybe it's just... it's a game about Atlantis, where... Yeah.
You are Jaws on Coney Island, and there's, like, 3 or 4 of you. And you have to, like, slowly, like, eat the surfers and the swimmers and whatever to, like, gain strength, so that you can later destroy the the people sent out to get you in their smaller and smaller boats that they need bigger ones?
We are repitching the Jaws board game, which does exist.
Oh, well, I didn't know that happened. So, seems like they kind of took the first idea and ran with it.
Yeah. I was going to say, or we could do something with Atlantis.
Yeah, you are Atlanteans invading the surface.
Or being invaded. This feels like now at this point a skirmish pitch where you just add some underwater rules for skirmish.
Yeah, we somehow add a third dimension and you somehow suspend your dice in midair, so they're in like H6, but also like A, which is like 8 squares up.
Yeah, maybe it's like, well, maybe combat entirely is, on a battleship thing, but where you're having to do the midpoint of them. Or maybe it's just some kind of, maybe battleships are somehow... Because that's the thing, your whole thing with wallet-friendly wargaming was like using cheap mechanic parts. Maybe you were coming up with something for how you use battleships in that. This is my task to you, Chloe.
Yeah.
I'm pitching a game idea that has to be done by you, not me.
Well, see, a lot of the expansion stuff for Skirmish that we started to do was like, how can we use an existing board game that people probably have? So it's like the horse riders in the main game. It was like, oh, well, to do a mounted unit, you put one dice on top of another. It's like you use a chessboard as your thing, as your...
I will say, this is now just a more minor difference of opinion. I feel like TTRPG designers in general really have a strange sense of how many, like, random board games people have in their houses.
Yeah, we had to buy chessboards to play Skirmish, I'm not going to lie.
That's the thing, yeah, just the idea of like, oh, it's chessboards. I'm like, I don't think most people... Also, like, so many things where it's like, oh, grab 2d6 from a Monopoly set you have lying around. And I'm like, I just don't think the average household actually can be assumed to just have a Monopoly thing lying around. I think that's a weird assumption that is just maybe revealing about, like, the people most TTRPG designers know.
Yeah, it's like, no, you've played 2 years of D&D before moving on to our zine. So you clearly have like 3 to 4 boxes of Chessex dice that you bought from your local game shop. Like, that was kind of the assumption for Skirmish. It's like the high cover was the plastic box that our dice came in at our local shop. I don't know if any other shop does those. So, like...
actually, I feel like... Yeah, I feel there are lots of, like, little, like, dice box things. But I do, This is, like, I just think the assumptions around how much people have D6s lying around is one where I'm like, I don't know if this lines up with most people I've known. Well, ultimately, people either are going to have dice because they're RPG nerds, or they just don't.
Yeah. Like, we have maybe got in a cracker once, several years at Christmas. Like...
Oh, it's an interesting contrast, because I feel like if I needed to suddenly go, fuck, why do I get a deck of cards? I know I could walk to any off-license and get one. If I didn't have any dice and was just like on a random Sunday and couldn't really go very far from my house and was like, oh fuck, I need to get some dice. I have no idea how I'd do that. In my mind, I'm like...
It's like how in prison they make dice with bags and little chits of paper with numbers on them.
Yeah, I know, like, dice are contraband there for...
Gambling stuff, yeah.
I assume it's gambling reasons. Just to be clear, not saying that, like, I agree with that. I don't agree with any of the fact that prisons are even existing.
Yeah.
But I assume that is the explanation. Anyway, that was a side thing of us talking about dice. So you got Skirmish 2. Do we want to go for a third game?
I want to say that there should be more games where you use a bag with lots of little bits of paper in.
I think that's a really good idea. And I feel like, honestly, this is actually my argument for why I feel like a lot of people don't do it. Is because I just think a lot of designers, if they were making a game... where it was like, oh, there'll be a bag and some, like, scraps of paper in it, they can't resist making official tokens in a proper bag, and that's expensive, so they don't do that. And I'm like, but actually, a covered mug and ripped up scrap paper is totally workable. But I think some people don't always like having something that, like, the best way of doing it is something really cheap.
Honestly, just do print and play. Like, if you want official whatever scraps of paper, print and play. Choose a nice font.
I mean, I think some people like the idea of like, oh, I can sell this thing with all of its pieces, and I wonder if that's a reason why scrap bags aren't a more common mechanic.
Yeah, I think
because it feels like an easy
initiative.
I also think like yeah, it feels like an interesting split of the difference between dice and cards in terms of like removing things and altering chances that you get with cards, but also being more of a sort of like, I think grabbing a scrap from a bag feels more like rolling a dice than revealing the top card is. I feel revealing a top card has a different feel.
Because revealing the top card is predetermined. I know it's shuffled, but it feels like it's already made up. But like ruffling in a bag feels more random.
Yeah, I suppose that's actually a thing. You do a bit more. And even though you can't actually be that bad, you can't really be bad at picking a scrap of paper or rolling a dice, you feel like you have done that more. Like you grabbed the right one versus the wrong one, even though that's completely random. In the same way you rolled the dice and it landed on the 6. Like those aren't actually skills, but they feel like you did something more than revealing a top card, which feels more like revealing something that is already in motion and decided, which has its own cool impact for things. Like, I think that's often why I think that's often kind of a better way. That feels more dramatic when an opposition, you're just like top decking some cards for difficulty versus rolling for an evil monster or whatever. Like, conversely, I feel on that other side of a divide, one of those actually feels more interesting.
Yeah.
I have magnitude from my reshuffled word generator.
Pop. I'm going to reload. Transmission.
Magnitude and transmission. Magnitude and transmission does sound like a sort of 90s double act.
Yeah, it's a 90s, not boy band, but like rap duo.
Or I was just gonna say even like odd couple, like in an odd couple dynamic. It's like, oh, magnitude and transmission need to team up. Even though magnitude is a loose cannon who doesn't play by the rules. And transmission's a wavering gun who doesn't follow orders.
I could also say it's like a post-apocalyptic, like sketch comedy duo.
Yeah, I was going to say this almost feels like a one-page game for free players where magnitude and transmission have their own stats that are, a sort of one stat dice roll thing, and then a GM just has like a lot of like weird things they can roll, and it's got some goofy art.
Yeah.
That's magnitude and transmission.
I should write this down. I always have to ask you at the end of the friggin' pod, what did we do in this episode?
Oh, this reminds me of one other goofy idea. I had messaged to you, and I feel we could break down a bit before we go. I messaged to you a game where you are gang members trying to rise through the ranks of your organization, like a bigger gang, except every one of you is secretly a mole for a different group.
This is just... No, I don't want to get political.
Fascinated by how political you were going to get with that, but... But yeah, so it's like, oh yeah, you're all trying to rise up in the like, Smith family gang, but it's like, oh yeah, one of you is an undercover cop, one of you is an undercover infiltrator for a different gang, the third of you, that's a third separate gang that they're infiltrating for. Like, you're all moles.
Yeah, no single member in the gang is part
Absolutely
of the Skirmish
none of you can be loyal to the gang. Like, arguably, it's this weird dynamic where, like, the person who is most loyal to the gang you're all individually infiltrating is the GM, who is probably the Don, I'd guess, in this situation.
Yeah.
But, like, also, you as players are not united because you're all entirely on different double agent sides.
Yeah, so I think you all have, like, secret objectives that you need to carry out throughout the course of, like, whatever adventure you're going on for the Dawn.
Thinking about it more, actually, I do really like the idea of this working as a Blades hack, because at least in a lot of the Blades games I've played, and I don't know how supposed this is, like, often the downtime thing takes a while, and also the way downtime plays out is everyone has their own individual scenes, and we watch each other's, and then that's fine. Yeah. Whereas we're together for a score, and I'm like, well, that makes sense for this. You're together for your missions, where you're doing, I don't know, fucking gang hits or something. But you then have your downtime scenes, but this isn't really downtime. It's you all working on your own secret missions and secret projects.
Yeah, like you reporting back to the CIA or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like you probably want to set this in some kind of fantasy gangland thing, rather than do something real.
The New York City.
But I was thinking, like, oh, why aren't there more things in there? I'm like, I guess it's because I feel like one big reason, because I'd been watching a gang show recently, which is what put this in my mind. I'd started watching a bit of Gangs of London, and I was like, I like a lot of how the action of this is, but also I just, it's a weird thing. I don't mind gore in action, but I don't necessarily care for torture scenes, and I was just like, oh, this just feels too bleak to be watching. But maybe I'll pick it back up. But I was like, yeah, obviously in virtually every, like, gangster film or stuff I can think of, the way gangs are organized is usually along sort of racial lines. Yeah. And I think no one wants to stat block an Irish gang, you know, even in the lightest example, like, you don't want to stat block an Irish or an Italian gang. That feels dodge as hell. So I think that's why, like, if you're doing any kind of gang thing, like Blades, you have to be in some kind of fantasy or cyberpunk or other sci-fi setting.
Yeah, I could see it like cyberpunk, you all work for the same corporation, or like fantasy, maybe you're all like bandits in a small town.
Yeah, or like a fucking like space age, like another kind of like retro future thing where it's like, oh yes, in the world of tomorrow, the only gangsters are those run by the robots and the
yeah. I like that your robot gang. It's like you're the first robot cop, but we're putting you undercover.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of need that, because also I think this game obviously could be very dramatic in play, because obviously, like, there'll always come a point where, like, you're all risking detection from each other, and it will probably end in a kind of, like, gory PvP way. But I feel like a big part of that being fun has to involve, like, it being quite heightened, and I also think...
Yeah, it's like paranoia.
I don't think you like your characters, necessarily. Definitely for one of you being an undercover cop, you're probably like, oh, this guy's a piece of shit. But I think even the infiltrators for all the other gangs and the gangs itself, it's like, yeah, maybe we're all quite bad people in this story, but maybe one of us is the least bad one, so we might be happy to see them win overall.
Yeah,
I think it's half Blades, half Fiasco. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, they fell over a railing. Oh, well.
I feel maybe there's a way, like, once your character dies, if your character dies before, like, you are, like, fully finished with the game, whether that's over the course of sessions or a tight one-shot version, I feel like you take over the faction, you take over basically being the GM for the faction you came from.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh yeah, they killed the undercover cop. The Don no longer is GMing the police, like the dead cop player now gets to like have all the GM tools of the police. And also I feel like it kind of works there, because by the time that happens, you've seen how a lot of GMing works, and the GM who'd previously been controlling everyone can like model it and parcel it out.
Yeah.
I feel like once again I've pitched an idea that actually sounds fun.
This sounds fun. I look forward to you writing 2 pages of a zine.
Yeah, I did a little blog post as well, actually. I'll leave us with here, because then we're basically done. But I wrote a little blog post where I was talking about my general idea struggles I've been having. And I think some of it is just like a space and time thing. It's like if I think of a big idea and I worry it's too complicated, I get afraid of sinking that cost into it, because I'm having a moment of not being convinced like that the audience is really there for what I want to do, but I don't want to simplify things. Whereas like I think with smaller ideas I can be more enjoyable and sort of like, oh, maybe just making it was the point. And like the long run of things taking ages to find their audience is fine. This game, I have no idea what kind of size it would be. I don't think I'm a big game writer, honestly. I think Terminal was the biggest thing I wrote. I'd probably write it quite differently now. I think like I'm probably I'm a 100-page game writer max.
Yeah.
And more often realistically more like a 40-page zinester in general. But I do feel there is a 100-page game version of this. So maybe in the very long run, I'll return to that idea because it was fun. But anyway, thank you for listening to Game Soup. Come say hi as we're all out and about.
If you build it, they will read it and then play it.